Back again, back again. A humble soul. Hey man, we got another visual. Make sure y'all hit that subscribe button if y'all not already tuned in with us. But I had a chance to check out the Big Facts podcast recently when they had Kinky B as the guest on there. And for those who don't know, Kinky B was Jeezy's right hand man at one point in time. They were like brothers pretty much, and they had a business partnership going. They started CTE together, worked together on a lot of Jeezy's most successful albums. You know what I'm saying? Like his major label debut, even some independent stuff he put out before that, all the way up to TM 103. And after that, things kind of soured and they went their separate ways. But on the Big Facts podcast, Kinky B opened up for the first time publicly about what went wrong with him and Jeezy. I got my own thoughts on the interview, but that's not what this video is about. This is more so pretty much shedding light on the lawsuit that caused everything to really crumble. Just want to paint the picture for y'all and share some background on Jeezy and Kinky B's relationship before the music. You know what I'm saying? The two of them met at a youth boot camp at this place called Fort Stewart. They had to do 8 months in the program before they were released, you know. And they met there and ended up just developing a close bond, a close friendship, and became best friends, you know. And after they were both released, you know, they went to their hometowns or whatever. Jeezy went back to, for what I understand, Hawkinsville, Georgia. That's his hometown. And Kinky B went back to Macon, but they kept in contact or whatever. And one thing led to another, and Jeezy was pretty much like, man, hey, because they both were in the streets, in so many words. And Jeezy reached out to Kinky B like, hey, man, this is what I got going on. What's the temperature like up there? You know, thinking about, you know, coming up there and setting up shop. And pretty much he came up and set up shop in Kinky B's neighborhood on the west side of Macon, according to the interview that he did on Big Facts or whatever. And they pretty much just started making money, man, taking their hustle to the next level. After becoming hood rich, in so many words, they wanted to invest that money into something legit. With that in mind, you know, they invested their street money into the rap game. So around September of 1999, they actually formed this label called Young Guns Entertainment and agreed that they would be partners. You know what I'm saying? They was going to bust everything down the middle, split it 50-50. It was a 50-50 partnership. So whatever they made, they split it. Whatever the expenses were, they split them as well. You know what I'm saying? So they tried their hand with the Young Guns Entertainment, and it didn't pan out too well. You know, they ended up setting up like a little studio on the east side of Macon, was working with some local acts, but the people kept getting into trouble. You know what I'm saying? I think a couple of them caught like murder charges and stuff like that. So it pretty much put the investment on hold. They weren't able really to recoup any money, and they still had to rely on, you know, street life, street activity to make ends meet. You know what I'm saying? So they had to go back to the drawing board. So around June of 2001, you know what I'm saying, a few years later, they end up starting Corporate Thugs Entertainment, and they started working with artists again, you know, but things still didn't work out for them. The artists really weren't getting any major buzzes outside of the area, and they really weren't making money like that. So instead of focusing on other talent, because people still were getting in trouble and stuff like that, they decided to put Jeezy in the booth. Actually, both Jeezy and Kinky B were rapping in the beginning, but they focused on Jeezy, and Kink was pretty much like, I'm gonna play the background and handle the business side of things and manage, etc. And Jeezy ended up becoming the flagship artist of CTE. He started off as Lil J, put out his debut project, Thuggin' Under the Influence. I believe that was in '01 as well. And then he transformed into Young Jeezy, you know what I'm saying? Put out his second project, put out a couple of mixtapes, and he got on fire, you know what I'm saying? Not just in the area of Macon, but in Atlanta and just all across the South. Midwest, the East, and the West. He started really bubbling, but definitely in the Southern region. So labels started beating down their doors, and calling their phones off the hook, just interested in signing Jeezy, because he got this major following, and the streets is really gravitating to him and supporting the music that he's putting out. He was a breath of fresh air in so many words. He was taking the trap genre to a new height. It was like it was still raw and street, but it wasn't on a nickel and dime level. It was more on some big boss man type stuff. So it really had people who was listening to it elevate, because he was sharing his story from how he went from crumbs to bricks in so many words. But so they getting calls from everybody, from Atlantic Records to Warner Brothers, so on and so forth. But it was Def Jam. It was Def Jam that they really felt the most comfortable with. You know what I'm saying? And Kinky B allegedly executed the contract. Like he negotiated everything for Jeezy, and Jeezy ended up signing a multi-million-dollar 6-album deal with Def Jam, according to the lawsuit. And they still had the agreement in place. When he signed a major deal, they still had the understanding from the independent route, you know what I'm saying, as far as like it's still a 50-50 partnership. They still busting everything down the middle, whether it's expenses or it's profit, according to the lawsuit. So by early '05, Jeezy's now on Def Jam. And he also around this time hooks up with Bad Boy Entertainment, as a member of Boys in the Hood. So he kind of had those deals going simultaneously. And Kinky B is still, you know what I'm saying, his right-hand man, still handling the business side of things. So evidently, something ended up going wrong. Like they had the 50-50 partnership going, but things ended up going left. And I'm going to get into that. So in the lawsuit, it says that there was a CTE business account that the advance money was deposited into, the show money, the royalties, etc. And they split that money down the middle, you know what I'm saying? At least that was the understanding. Both Jeezy and Kink had access to the account. They would take money out the account, deposit money into the account, split the money, etc. So Jeezy reportedly received $750,000 as an advance for his major label debut, was classic Let's Get It, Thug Motivation 101. His second album, he allegedly received a $2 million advance. That was for the project The Inspiration. His third project, he received at least 2.5. In the lawsuit, it says between 2.5 and 3 million. And the same with his fourth project. At some point in time, Kinky B discovers that Jeezy allegedly had his lawyer send a letter of direction to Def Jam Records, pretty much requesting that all of the advance money, the royalties, and the distributions be deposited into Jeezy's personal account, not the business account that they had been using. So that's when things started to take a turn, because previously, up until that point, like I said, they was busting the money down the middle from the CTE account. Now the money's being, deposited into Jeezy's personal account when these millions and millions start rolling in, according to the lawsuit. And that's when things get a little shaky, you know what I'm saying? So Kinky B ends up discovering this, because he's talking to the attorneys like, damn, what's going on with the money? He's hollering at Jeezy, asking what's going on with the money. And in so many words, they're allegedly giving him the runaround. After he discovered everything, he pretty much, requested for Jeezy to pay him his share of the money, Jeezy, quote unquote, made several promises to him, like, hey, man, I got you covered, man. The money that you owe from the advances, royalties, we're going to get that to you. We're going to straighten everything out. Apparently, that never happened. The money issue was never truly sorted out, you know what I'm saying? And Kink became tired of waiting, and he filed a lawsuit, in August of 2012. He filed a lawsuit, a $5 million lawsuit at that. And it wasn't just against Jeezy, but it was against CTE, Def Jam, and Universal, which is the parent company of Def Jam. And the lawsuit pretty much accuses Jeezy and the labels, etc. There's different charges in there. But just to highlight some of those, one of the charges alleges that Jeezy didn't uphold the agreement, to share equally all expenses and proceeds with Kinky B, like they had previously, before everything went major. Another charge in the lawsuit was pretty much saying that another claim, shall I say, in the lawsuit was pretty much saying that Jeezy didn't account for all of the advances, royalties and distributions from Def Jam. All the money he got from Def Jam, he didn't account for that. Another one says that he pretty much breached the contract, breach of good faith and fair dealing. Another count in the lawsuit was that Jeezy violated the Georgia RICO Act, and he allegedly also committed conversion, fraudulent misrepresentation, and unjust enrichment. Those are different things listed in the lawsuit that Kinky B filed, against Jeezy and the label. And the lawsuit went on for a few years before the smoke settled. So he filed a lawsuit in 2012, but a decision wasn't made until 2017. You know what I'm saying? So the lawsuit went on for several years, and in the end, a Fulton County Superior Court jury ruled in favor of Young Jeezy, pretty much saying that Kinky B was not entitled to half of his earnings. You know what I'm saying? So the partnership they had before the major deal, they were saying that wasn't the case after Jeezy got with Def Jam, and that Jeezy wasn't responsible for, breaking him off with half of everything that he earned. That's pretty much the lawsuit in a nutshell. It was over money. Like I said, Kinky B finally opened up and shared his side of the story on the Big Facts podcast. Jeezy shared his perspective on it on his song Therapy for My Soul. But I never really saw the lawsuit broke down, so I just wanted to put a video up shedding light on that. If you're messing with the channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and all of that. Until next time, I'm going to holler at y'all, man. It's your guy Lewis signing off 100.